Well, first of all, I would say that media ecology can take just about anything as its subject matter, so that it intersects in significant ways with anthropology. And there are a number of important media ecology scholars that we consider to be media ecologists, who come from anthropology, such as Edmund Carpenter, who was a close associate with Marshall McLuhan, Dorothy Lee, who kind of bridged the gap in the world of linguistic anthropology, which is part of our field as well. And so going back to Benjamin Lee Whorf and Edward Sapir before that. But then later on, in terms of orality literacy, you get someone like Jack Goody. So, I mean, there are quite a few folks coming from anthropology who apply the media ecological approaches and take up media ecological questions. The question of what it means to be human, I would say, is a very important one for media ecology. Now, my book that I wrote on, which is entitled just Media Ecology, I gave it the subtitle, An Approach to Understanding the Human Condition. Because, and I would say that McLuhan's book, Understanding Media, actually downplays what the book is really about, because it is about understanding the human condition. And if it's just about understanding media, that's interesting and all that, but that's a kind of narrow idea. And what we're really about is understanding the effects of media on ourselves, which is the effects of what we're doing to ourselves. So there are different camps, I would say, within media ecology, because it's not an ideology, it's not an ism, it's a way of thinking about things, a way of approaching, that's why I use the word approach, way of approaching particular subject matter. And if we're thinking about what it means to be human, at least for some folks, there's a question of a kind of what is natural or normal or typical for being human, and then how far have we gone astray through our development of more and more technology. But for others, there are ideas of that part of what it means to be human is technology, and as we continue to create new technologies, we are continuing to evolve ourselves and to make progress as human beings, and that is part of what being a human being is all about. Not to remain static and set in our ways, but to continue to develop ourselves. So I would say that both of these are ways of looking at what it means to be human within the field of media ecology.
Well, I'll definitely have to read that book, and I'm like I said, I'm very much enjoying Amazing Ourselves to Death.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you feel like the Media Ecology book is like your kind of seminal?
Yeah.
Like that's the one. It's
the book I had to write in order to go to my grave peacefully. And if I didn't write that book, I would be a hungry ghost, I think is the Japanese concept of, I'd be haunting people like you. So that was one, and it was, my take on media ecology that I said I talked about writing back in the 90s and always got sidetracked or put things off, and so it really developed over that time. But I think that with that book, I've kind of largely nailed it, at least as far as my thinking is concerned on the subject. And part of it, and it's going back to the point about being human, is bringing in Hannah Arendt and her work on the human condition, which I find to be media ecological and fits in nicely, helps to provide a kind of good grounding for thinking about media ecology.